Hey everyone, this is Ian Miller,
It's Andrew Smith.
and welcome to another episode of Media Talk with Miller and Smith. Tonight we have very specific topics to go over, but first, let's go over to our sports expert. Take it away, Smith.
Thank you, Ian. Now let's just go over that this could be our almost our season one finale. So I
Mm,
think we have maybe like one more we'll do before
yes.
the finale, and then we'll take it from there afterwards. Um, so a lot of things happened in the last few weeks in the MLB with the Mets and the Yankees. Um, First, we'll start with the Mets.
Mm,
Um, Steve Cohen is just going crazy with all his money right now. Um, he's made a lot of free agent signings, a lot of money. Um, I mean, hey, he's a billionaire, so I got to give him credit. Um, I mean, he signed Verlander, he signed Brandon Nimmo back for another 8 years.
mm,
He brought in Kodai Senga, who's supposed to be one of the best pitchers that was in Japan. And then I'm sure most of you Met fans out there know late last night or late 2 days ago, at 3 a.m. they signed Carlos Correa to a 12-year contract, which was crazy
oh man.
after his deal with the Giants fell through.
Mm,
Because physical. So that was just madness. So he's just signing a lot of players. He's getting a lot of good people, and I think Correa wanted to actually come to the Mets. So that's uh that's crazy. So all these signings, they've got a great rotation now. They got one of the best lineups in bullpen in baseball right now. So on the Mets side, they have a really good team. So we'll see what happens with that. Just so crazy. Um, yeah, so that's what's happened over the last few weeks with the Mets and with the Yankees on the other side of town.
mm,
Um, they re-signed Aaron Judge, thank God, because this team would not have been a playoff team without Aaron Judge. Um, so that was one of the biggest moves that they did. And they had a press conference for him yesterday, um, which was really cool. And they made him the 16th captain in New York Yankees history. So that was really cool. And they had Derek Jeter there and a lot of and Willie Randolph, who was also one of the captains. So that was pretty cool as well. Um, so they could not have made the playoffs or preferably the World Series without Aaron Judge being there. So that was one of the biggest signings. And then they added one of the best pieces in their rotation for Carlos Rodon to a
mm.
6-year deal. So that was pretty huge that they needed to absolutely get done. So they had a press conference for him today. So that was pretty cool. So both New York teams just pretty much added and got better. So it's gonna be interesting with what these two New York teams will actually do um, in the future,
Mm.
given this season. And Ian, I mean, I know you don't really watch that much baseball, but you are a Yankees fan, so I'm just curious on what you think of it. If you caught up on any of the news at all.
I have caught up on the news, and I have to tell you, this was definitely smart choices to make, especially with these additions to the team. And it makes me hopeful for the upcoming season. It does make me hopeful. But, again, I'm a bit, on the cautious side because obviously we've had situations like this where we have potentially good players, and these are, you know, but when we've had good players in the past and then we still haven't quite made it.
Yeah, yeah. It's been a tough road uh these last few years because the last time the Yankees won was in 2009. But every year they try to get better and they do make it to the playoffs every. Yeah, so they made it to the playoffs every single year. Um, but they want to try and every single year to improve the team, but we haven't really gotten to that World Series point yet. So I'm
Yeah,
just hoping that they did bring Judge back and hopefully add it to this rotation. This could actually be a World Series team. Um, but there's still more moves to be done. They still need outfield. They still need some stuff in the bullpen. So I'm hoping one of these spaces could be filled. So I'm hoping like they get like a Brian Reynolds or um, just any kind of trade really. I'm hoping like maybe Michael Conforto they'll sign, but we'll have to just wait and see on that. But
yeah.
a lot of hope for the future for this team. And again, I'm happy with what the Mets did as well. They did a they Steve Cohen wasn't shy about spending his money, like I said. So these two teams, you know, have gotten much better. And we'll see what happens during the season when they face each other and probably in the playoffs as well. So
Yeah.
that's that's what's happened this week. Well, not this week, but in current weeks. So yeah, so I'll just throw it back to you, Ian. Thanks.
Well, thank you for the sports update, and hopefully we'll get to the baseball season. We're going to see some positivity and hopefully some winning games. Crossroads.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll see what's going on with that. Hopefully, the next couple months when they report. So
Yeah. In other news, Smith and I and our friend Andrew Filler, who has been on the show, as you will know, we have recently have seen James Cameron's latest movie, Avatar: The Way of the Water. It is a 3 hour sci-fi flick with some very memorable performances, wonderful action scenes, but the problem we all had with it was a little weak in the story.
yeah, I found that out as well. As we all know, James Cameron likes to make really long movies. So, but there was a f- there was a 13-year gap within these movies. So we weren't exactly sure when we first went into the movie how good it was going to be. But I mean, I thought the performances were actually really good. Just the story was a little lacked a little. It was a little weak at points. But for people who haven't seen it yet, I won't give too much away. But I just thought it lacked in the story department a little bit.
Yeah, especially in I think the middle of the second act.
Hmm.
Yeah, there were some things that could have been cut down. This is where directors you really need to make friends with the editors. It's your vision, I understand that, but you still need to make friends with the editors. It was not as like Martin Scorsese the Irishman long. It wasn't
Hmm.
that long, but it was this was still a little bit long. But still, despite that, it was an enjoyable movie, very enjoyable characters, and I'm told that the third movie was actually shot not simultaneously, but almost back to back. And right now they're in post production for it. So the release date for that is supposed to be 2024. So we're getting it much sooner than the second film.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard like they were filming parts of Avatar 4 as well. Like they filmed Avatar 4 a couple years ago, which I don't know if it's exactly true, but
I think right now that's just a rumor. Uh,
mhm,
and as we all know, we should not feed into rumors because
yeah.
they are very much the death of this industry.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen
Speculation is a killer.
yeah, I mean, some of these rumors come to light, some don't, but it's it is what it is right now. So
Yeah. We did not see the 3D version yet. We did see the 2D. There were some
mhm.
things we could see would be in 3D. You know,
Yeah,
some but we didn't know it could be depth 3D. We don't know, but we will take an opportunity to actually see it in 3D just to see what's different.
yeah, yeah. We'll definitely go back and take a look at that. Like you said, there were some. I looked at it kind of closely. I didn't think there was a lot that could be in 3D. But there was some stuff in there that come at you that could potentially be some 3D stuff in there, but not too much.
Yeah, and I have to give credit to the not just the production designer, but also just the concept artists because they came up with some very inventive, creative technology for
Hmm.
a very futuristic world,
Hmm. Yeah.
especially with the human elements. But I was like, wow, you guys went above and beyond from where the first one was. The first one was very impressive, but this took it to another level. So I got to commend everybody from a design point, obviously the acting, and
Hmm.
it was really kick ass. But hopefully, with the third one, please cut it down a bit and make it a stronger story. And I have to tell you, can we get a different villain? Again, we're not spoiling everything. Okay, we're not spoiling anything, but you don't want to keep playing the same threads over and
No,
over again. Again, I'm not
no,
going to go on that because many of you haven't seen it. If you haven't seen it, where have you been?
no. I mean, you definitely don't want the same villain over and over and over again because it would make no sense. I mean, there's just no point in having the same villain over and over again, and make no sense into making the movie.
Yeah,
So
it gets a little stale. It gets stale.
exactly. Yeah, I mean, there's also stuff out there that James Cameron actually made Avatar 3 into a 9-hour movie. So
We can
I
either confirm or deny that.
cannot confirm or deny that. No, I did not say that. I did not say that, he is making a 9-hour movie. I just said that, there's stuff out there that he could have made a 9-hour movie. So
Yeah,
if that is actually true, which we don't know, he would have to cut that down a lot.
yeah, he would. Otherwise, we'd have to sit through a 9 hour movie. We had to actually get up in the morning to see it because if we saw it at night, let's say we saw this at 7 o'clock at night. All right, it's a 9 hour movie. Yeah, we would be. We would have to make sure we're not doing anything the next day. We'd be just exhausted just be sitting in the movie theater.
It's like one of those plays, you have to go into intermission every 3 hours.
Yeah, yeah. The other thing that bothered me was this film did not have an intermission. And Cameron purposely said there was not going to be intermission. So
No, no, but I'm hoping it's not a 9-hour movie. So let's just hope he just cuts it down to like over 2 hours.
I would be fine with 2.5 hours. I'd be fine with that. All right. But
He could push it to 2:45. That's the most I'll go.
yeah, but if he keeps going with these 3 hour epics, uh, granted, I know people are like, Avengers Endgame was 3 hours and you guys weren't bothered by that. Were we bothered by it? Yeah, of course we were bothered by it. It's 3 hours, but still, we were so sucked into the story. And we were with this one as well, but again, a little weak. Needs to be
Yeah,
stronger.
yeah. I mean, you have most of the cast coming back for this movie, which actually surprised me a little bit because I'm
Mm,
not like how where their lives have gone the past 13 years. So I was just kind of surprised. Like Sam Worthington came back and Zoe Saldana. So which was good. I mean, this movie would have never been you know that good without them in the cast. So
yeah, and it's always great to see the original cast members return to their roles,
mhm.
especially Zoe Glover. She's got 3 franchises. But what's interesting is she's trying to break out the franchises after being involved with it so many years, which is
Yeah.
understandable because you want to be original, you want to do original stuff.
Hmm.
So I commend her for, seeking out more original content. In fact, I hope she does more original content after, these franchises are finished.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Um, but yeah, I mean that's what we thought of the movie. Um, it was, I mean, I mean, it was good. I'm not gonna say it wasn't, but I mean, I thought it was pretty good. Just, clean up the story a little bit. That's all. I mean, make it, you know, like you said, more a better villain and, a different villain, I should say. Um, just touch on the story, just a tad, and it would have been great.
Yeah, so I think out front of 5 stars, I would probably give this a 3.5.
Yeah,
I would say that's
yeah,
fair.
I would go with that.
Yeah. So if you guys haven't seen Avatar: Where the Water yet, please go ahead and see it. And if you're wondering where Kate Winslet is, in which character she's playing, look very carefully. You'll see a lot of her mannerisms. A lot of mannerisms, and she's another talented actress. And I was very pleased that she was in the movie, but I was also shocked that she would work with James Cameron again after what happened with Titanic. She was working with very cold temperatures.
Yeah, I mean, you know more about that than I do. So, I mean, if you want to educate them, if not, that's totally up to
I'll educate him for a little bit, just for a second before we get into our main topic. Yeah, so uh, Kate Winslet was pretty much wearing this very sheer dress. Obviously, for those of you who have seen the movie, and she had to, swim in very cold temperatures because Cameron wanted to see the breaths,
you.
because you want to create equally similar conditions to what actually happened on the Titanic sinking.
Hmm.
So she's working in very cold weather, cold water, especially with this one scene where she's grabbing an axe and just shimmying along, the pipe of the ceiling, and she's cold.
Right.
And you can tell her reaction is not acting. This is real. And for a time, she did not speak to Cameron for a number of years. So I was very shocked when I heard that he wanted her in the movie. But it also just shows you how much you've actually grown over
Mm,
the years. So
yeah.
I gotta commend them for that, and I'm very glad that they, came to understanding and they got out past that. So anyway, go see Avatar: Way of the Water.
Yeah, I mean, you'll like it. It's got over $600 million in the box office so far, so that's good.
600.
Um, 600 million. Yeah, last I looked. Not sure the exact numbers, but I know it went over about 600 million or so. So that's we'll see if it competes with the first one if it gets to 2 billion. If not, I mean,
Even if it gets a billion, three's got already been green lit. So
yeah. Yeah, so
anyway,
yeah, so I mean, he did say like if this, if Avatar 3 doesn't really, if Avatar 2 didn't really meet the box office numbers and stuff like that, they could end it with Avatar 3. So and not move on to 4 and 5. So we'll see what happens with it as in the coming months.
yeah. Okay. On to the main topic. Where do we begin with this topic? And
Yeah, I know
let's face
we yeah, I mean, I know we've talked about this a lot in recent episodes, but yeah, so if you want to go into the main discussion, I mean,
yeah,
feel free. I mean,
folks, I'm gonna just say this up front. I didn't want to talk about this. Smith didn't want to talk about this. We don't want to talk about this, but we're talking about it. As many of you know, in the past week, Warner Brothers Discovery had made the announcement, along with James Gunn, the new head of DC Studios, along with his partner, had made the announcement that Man of Steel star Henry Cavill would not be reprising his role as Superman. in future DC
Hmm.
projects.
Yeah.
What has followed from that announcement has been pure chaos. Currently, the hashtag Fire James Gunn is now trending and is not trending on Twitter.
Oh, has it? I didn't see that part.
Oh yes,
Oh, wow. Okay. That didn't take them very long.
no, and the news of Cavill's abrupt departure comes mere days after Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman 3 was canceled.
Yeah. When I saw that, I was like, how could they do that since Wonder Woman 3 was already green lit and they were gonna make the movie? But now with all this, it's like I'm just speechless. I was just speechless when I saw it. And because I didn't think like James Gunn would actually go in that direction, but obviously he's going in that direction. And then there was a couple days ago, I think Monday or Tuesday, I think, Dwayne Johnson put out a statement on Instagram that he would not be coming back as Black Adam.
At
So
least for this first chapter of what Gunn's new DCU would look like.
yeah,
It sounded like at some point he could revisit the character. Maybe perhaps a different form, perhaps a continuation, we don't know.
yeah. But yeah, I mean he said he's going in a different direction at this point. Hopefully he does come back as Black Adam, but not like Henry Cavill Superman where he just won't be coming back at all.
Yeah, so it was quite upset because many fans were looking forward to him coming back as the Man of Steel.
Hmm.
And even though Man of Steel 2 was not even greenlit yet, there was still some hope for that.
Yeah. You now have these DC movies now coming out, which is Aquaman. I'm sorry, Flash first, and then Aquaman, and then or is it no Shazam first? The Flash, Shazam, and then Aquaman.
And also Blue Beetle, which also is coming out as well.
Is that still coming out? They
That's
said
still coming out because that's already finished. That's already in the can.
okay.
In cancel, like say another movie they did cancel. Yeah,
um,
we haven't forgotten about that, folks. We haven't forgotten about that.
so hopefully those movies will definitely get released. Um, and you know there was talks and I'm pretty sure that you can confirm this because I think you've read it more than I have, that they were planning on making a Batman Beyond movie with Michael Keaton. Was that true?
Yeah, I can say this is not a rumor. They actually were talking about that, which would be interesting to see Michael, reprise the role again,
Hmm.
besides the Flash, and see where his version of Batman would have gone. But that got canceled as well.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, so everything's just going in a different direction with James Gunn right now, so we have absolutely no idea where that's going to be. He did say he was working on another Superman movie, but he did say it was with a black Superman, I believe, right?
That was actually, I believe that's pretty much continuing what J.J. Abrams was
Okay.
originally doing for DC.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that was it, but yeah, if it's true, then yeah, I'm fine with that. You know,
Okay.
that was a problem, but still, want to see a Henry Cavill Superman at some point, but that's obviously not going to happen. In fact,
But
yeah, in fact, Smith and I actually had messaged James Gunn a completely different matter.
I mean, we never heard back from him, but
Yeah, we actually messaged him on Twitter saying, if you're not going to do Zack Snyder's Justice League Parts 2 and 3 as movies, why not do them as video games? Hell,
exactly.
even hire Rocksteady, who has done phenomenal work with the Batman Arkham series and, of course, the upcoming Suicide Squad killed the Justice League game.
Speaking of, um, Kevin Conroy is actually coming back in the Suicide Squad game, which we actually found out a few days ago when we saw the trailer come out.
Yeah, this is actually his final Batman performance.
Yeah, that was not in our earlier episode because we didn't know about it at the time.
Yeah,
So,
it was a very wonderful surprise to see that, especially with Kevin obviously being sick. He was still recording.
mhm.
Maybe he did that months ahead, before his passing. We don't know, but it was very nice to see that. Very shocking, but still very nice. But the problem is, it's now tempting me to buy the PS5. I mean,
Yeah,
why?
I know, me too. I mean, I'm trying to wait for the prices to come down, but they're not coming down as of right now. So it's tempting to buy it right now.
I mean, guys, the guys at PlayStation, come on. We suggested to James Gunn to give you guys business with the Zack Snyder Justice League Parts 2 and 3 video games. Give us some slack here. Bring down the price. It's the holidays, for God's sakes.
I don't think they take that into account, Ian.
Oh, they're not taking into account. It's business. I understand. It's business. I get it.
I mean, hopefully they see this, but if they don't, it's they won't take that into account anyway. But um, yeah. So
Yeah, so back to the James Gunn
right.
situation,
Yeah.
which is ever growing apparently. Interesting thing happened today because I just read this. Apparently, Justice League star and Cyborg star Ray Fisher has actually had his 2 cents in the situation.
What did he say?
Let me pull up it on Twitter. Let me pull it up because this is something.
Yeah, and as most of you know, Fisher has had a lot of trouble recently, given what happened with Justice League, early on in the past. So
That was mostly geared towards Justice League theatrical version director
yeah,
Joss Whedon.
right.
Many of you know they've had problems. This is
Yeah.
what Fisher had this to say. The way James Gunn uses fake grace on Twitter is really funny. Him going to bat for Joss Whedon, Saito apologizing for it, and then deleting it immediately before taking his new DC job is not. Refusing to apologize for toxic behavior seems to be a job requirement for Warner Brothers and DC. Yeah, that's quite something. Gunn actually did respond to this. He said, and I quote, all my tweets automatically delete every few months, right? It has nothing to do with my tweets with you.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. I mean, what do you think?
Well, this was pretty much in reference to what the whole Joss Whedon situation. In fact,
Mhm.
Fisher actually included, images from that tweet about Joss Whedon. And James was pretty much standing up for Ray,
Mhm.
obviously. So I don't know what this whole new thing is about. I don't know. Um, I have to say, yes, I am disappointed that we're not going to see continuation in some of these franchises. I am disappointed. I'm disappointed we're not going to see Henry Cavill as Superman again.
Yeah, me too.
Um, what can you do? But it does sound like James has some very specific ideas, for DC going forward. I
Mhm.
still have to trust his judgment here, you know, because I still like to see what he has in mind.
Right. Yeah, after after all these movies release, and then after Blue Beetle, we're not exactly sure what's gonna happen after that. Unless, they release it in the next year or so of what his plan is actually gonna be.
Well, he said
So
it's going to be. He said his plan is actually going to be revealed in January next month. So
okay. So folks, stay tuned till January then.
yeah,
We'll
but
see what he has planned.
yeah, but I will make this point though. whatever James has planned for his DCU, I think that version and also the Snyderverse version, they can coexist because this is a multiverse.
Hmm.
You know, hell, you can even put the productions of the Snyderverse into HBO Max. They already did that with the Snyder Cut, but I I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. So these are probably going to be the last performances we're going to be seeing of this version of the Justice League, in their solo films, and yeah, we just have to deal with it.
Yeah, I'm just afraid of when when a whole new Justice League comes out. I'm just afraid of a casting of who the casting is actually going to be. You know,
Yeah,
that's what I'm mostly afraid of.
yeah. And what's interesting was I remember the backlash that Ben Affleck got, when he was cast as Batman. He's like, no, he can't play Batman. No, he can't play it. But the minute he was in costume, everyone shut their mouths. Everyone stayed quiet. It was the same thing with Michael Keaton. When he was cast as Batman in the '89 movie, it was like, Mr. Mom's Batman? No, no. There were petitions, being handed out. And of all places, the Wall Street Journal had printed an article saying that the producers were idiots for hiring Michael Keaton. And this was before the film even started production, before you even saw the trailer, before you even saw the images. I'm like, you guys are just, doing the same thing. When will we learn? So I'm betting that the next cast of the new Justice League, I'm betting there's some people that are gonna be like, I can't see these people as these characters. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Bring back the other cast. I can't see these. And then by the time we get the, cameras rolling, we see the trailer, they're like, I never said that. No, I never said that. It wasn't tweeted. I'm sorry. I didn't tweet it. We just get a screenshot of it. I didn't tweet it. It was no tweet. But we're all like that, folks. We're all like that. We get very passionate about our characters because we like to see the best actors to portray these characters.
Yeah, I mean what you said is a perfect example of Ben Affleck. People said he wasn't going to be he wasn't going to be good as Batman. He shouldn't be Batman. And then they saw the trailer, and then once the movie came out, it's like, oh, he's actually pretty good in this role. So, I mean, never assume. I mean, I don't want to assume, but I'm just worried. But I hope that they know what they're doing down the line, and hopefully they'll get new casting. The casting down right, and hopefully it turns out for the better, not for the worst.
What I'm really worried about? Here's what I'm really worried about. The fact that James Gunn has Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 coming out, I think in May. I'm worried that people are actually going to start petitioning against the movie. I'm like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Hey, that's two different subjects, and it's not fair to him. It's not fair to him.
No, it's not. I mean, it's two different stuff. I mean, one's Marvel, one's DC. I mean,
Yeah, I just hope to God that they know what they're doing this time around. They don't cancel any more films, you know, because you don't want to keep upsetting the fans. You can't keep
hmm,
alienating the fans.
yeah, you don't want to keep doing that after that whole debacle uh, months ago. So
I'm hoping, folks, this is the last time we actually talk about the situation, but something tells me we just see the tip of the iceberg.
yeah, I mean, I definitely don't want to keep talking about this because I hope it goes in the right direction. But like you said, we just hit the tip of the iceberg, so we'll probably be talking more about this a lot more.
Yeah,
Oh,
but having said that, you guys have your opinions, and we do respect them. We'd like to hear your thoughts. Do you think it's better to just
throw out everything that DC has been doing, I'd say for the last 10 years, and start fresh, or could they actually do both, create their own new cinematic universe and still maintain the previous one? Because this is a multiverse. Again, we respect your opinions, and
Yeah, I mean, just leave it in the comment section. I mean, we respect your opinions. I mean, we'll look at it and we'll talk about it, and anything that you give us, we'll just we'll take it to heart, and we'll discuss it as much as we can, and it's just any comments that you have, really, just leave it in the comment section. Just we'll take a look at it.
that's absolutely. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure this will be an ongoing discussion.
Yeah, I agree. So we'll before we end the night, I just want to take a minute to thank everyone for tuning in last episode, because that was we got a lot of views for that one.
Yeah,
So
we did not expect that because it just goes to show
100
that,
101 views, man.
yeah,
101. That's
yeah,
crazy.
I didn't expect that. But we greatly appreciate it because you guys really care what we had to say about Kevin. Also, you also appreciated, you just appreciate
Yeah.
what you have to say.
No, yeah. They know what you're talking about. So we'll, as like the last one, like the last episode, we'll continue to add more clips and photos as the episodes go on. So just keep tuning in. Please subscribe, because we can use all the subscriptions that we can get. You won't regret it. You'll have a lot of fun. You'll have a lot of laughs here.
Yeah,
So please just keep tuning in, keep subscribing, just keep listening, because we greatly appreciate it.
and keep having fun with us because we love talking to you. We love talking to you guys. We love talking to you about these subjects.
Yeah. One more thought on the baseball news before we end it. I didn't mention this earlier, but given the amount of contracts that have been given out this offseason was just crazy. I just thought I'd give my 2 cents on that.
Yeah,
All these position players and pitchers are getting a lot of money, and owners are spending so much, like 11, 12, 13 years, over $300 million. I mean, it's just crazy. And that's just what makes baseball fun, for me and for all you baseball fans out there. Whether you're a Yankee fan, Met fan, Red Sox fan, Rangers fan, anyone. Um, if you're a huge baseball fan like I am, this is what excites me the most, is the off season and where people go, and all these contracts that have been given out, and if they stay with their teams or not. So
yeah,
I just thought I'd throw that in there, and it's just really crazy about all these contracts given out this season, and a lot of money. So
absolutely. Also, be able to tune in next week for our season finale because we're actually going to be doing it live on New Year's Eve. So, like,
yes,
like to look
yes,
forward to
we
that.
will. That's our big secret right there. So
Yeah. Anyway, I'm Ian Miller,
I'm Andrew Smith.
and this has been Media Talk with Miller Smith. Miller Smith. Yeah. Good night, folks.
Hi guys.
If you'd like to follow us on YouTube, just hit that like button and subscribe.